We are recording, and as people come in, I will admit them in. But thank you so much for joining, everyone. Welcome to the country tour to Scotland. I am Shadana Cheney, and I work in the Office of International Programs as a uh-oh study abroad advisor. I'm sorry about that. Study abroad advisor. So I'm excited to bring you a country tour to Scotland. And we have a wonderful presenter today. She is a study abroad alumni. She spent a semester in Scotland. So she's going to be talking about her experience firsthand. Her name is Cameron Foster, and she is a rising senior majoring in business. And on her free time, she loves to play the violin. So, where are you, Miss Foster?
Hi, thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. I'm going to attempt to try to share a screen. I honestly am I never share screens in Zoom. I'm usually listening to other people. So it's going to take me a second, so just bear with me. Miss Cheney, would you mind making me a co-host so I can share the screen?
Okay, sure. Okay, it's all yours.
Okay, perfect. So I kept it pretty short. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay, I kept it pretty short and sweet. And it's interesting to speak. Well, I kept the PowerPoint short and sweet, but obviously, if you guys have a lot of questions, I can answer them. So welcome to Scotland. I'll show you guys my background of my computer. I actually keep it as my vision board. It's always on there because it was just such an amazing time. So we can start with the capital. I studied in Edinburgh. Let me make you guys smaller because I can't see. Okay, there it is. It is one of the major cities to visit in the country. Sadly, they're still under English rule, and they do not like it, and they do not like when you call them English. So if you ever visit Scotland, they are not English, they are Scottish, and they are very proud. So that's something to remember. Though they're under English rule, Scotland still remains pretty independent. They have their own currency and their own parliament. With that being said, it's important to know that though you can use the Scottish and English pound in Scotland, you can only use the Scottish pound in Scotland. If you take it to England, they will, they're pretty territorial, I guess would be a good word. They will not take it, and they'll kind of give you a look as to why you are giving them a Scottish pound and not an English pound. The legal drinking age is 18, and to the right is actually what the Scottish flag looks like. So the second slide this is a picture of Glasgow, if you guys can see it. It's such a beautiful city. Edinburgh is better, but the Glaswegians would say differently. So it's the second major city to visit in Scotland. It's known for its young, hip scene. Most young people live in Glasgow and or take the train into Edinburgh for work or university. A couple of my friends that I met while I was there went to school in Glasgow but worked in Edinburgh. I think it was about a 25 to 30-minute train ride. You can also visit the Glasgow Cathedral if you guys look it up. It's really beautiful. It was built in 1197, I believe was what it said. It was or consecrated in 1197, I guess. It's pretty amazing. The architecture there it's incredible, and it was kind of interesting to walk around and see buildings that are older than your country. So that was really fun. They're known for their amazing art museums. They're not always modern. They have, art from everywhere. They went to different countries and either made trades or, took them, history, of course, and put them in the art museums. But the art is very nice, and they do have a couple of modern art museums that are really nice there. Most university students do go clubbing in Glasgow. It's, like I said, it's the young hip scene. A lot of older people live out in the outskirts of Glasgow or it's not even Glasgow. It's just whatever the smaller cities. It's like Houston, but Prairie View. So they live outside of the big city. So on to food. This is a traditional Scottish brekkie or breakfast. So it's usually around like 250 to 4 pounds, depending on where you are. It's pretty good, honestly. I'm not a breakfast food person because I don't eat like half of the things that are in breakfast foods, like eggs and pork and all that. But I can actually. Can you guys see my mouse?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'm going to point out everything. So obviously this is a tomato, just some salt and pepper. This is an egg. These are beans, and they eat beans on toast. Most English and Scottish people do. And it's not like Bush's baked beans, guys. It's more of like beans and tomato sauce. Um, so it's an interesting taste. This back here is a Scottish, I wouldn't say delicacy, but it is something that you go to Scotland and eat. It's haggis. And it is like a series of meats. And guys, I'm gonna be honest, I was there for 4.5 months and I refused to actually know what was in it because I wanted to be able to enjoy it. It doesn't look that appetizing, but I figured if I knew what was in it, I would refuse to eat it. So I just left it at it's haggis, and I tried it, and I will never eat it again, but it was a great experience. Here's some sausage. This is like hash browns. And this black thing is called black pudding. And it's basically like a patty. It kind of looks like a really dark black bean patty, but actually when you hit it, it jiggles, and it's actually pig's blood, cow's blood, that's why it's black, and like different meats put together. When I found out what was in it, that's exactly why I asked, and I actually thought it was like a dessert when they said, oh, I'm getting black pudding, and I realized it's like a breakfast food. So I ended up not eating it because I figured out what was in it. I think these are just mushrooms on top, and some bread, like like I said, they put beans on toast. This
Cameron,
is
excuse me, I mean to interrupt. Do you mind sharing it to full screen?
Yes. Make you guys small. Did I just push present?
Yes, let's try that.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then, so this is something that I actually thought was really fun. The Scotland's national animal is actually a unicorn, and you can find this around, which is really funny. James II made it the Scottish national animal way back when, and he wanted it to be the national animal because it symbolizes purity and power, which is very interesting. Sightseeing. So some things that you can find in Scotland, which I didn't know before I went. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Loch Ness Monster, but Nessie can actually be found in the Scottish Highlands. I went to visit, and it's beautiful. It's incredible, the site of the Highlands. You're in the mountains, kind of like his background. It kind of looks like that. You can see different castles. And the Scottish cows. I wish I put a photo in there, but I guess I can show you guys at the end if we have time. Which they're so cute, but it's extremely cold. There's a lot of water. You're in the mountains, but yes, Nessie can actually be seen in the Highlands. I didn't see Nessie, but some people said that they did. So another place to visit is while you're in Edinburgh. If you're a Harry Potter fan, Edinburgh is the place to go. The author actually wrote Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone in Edinburgh at this cafe called the Elephant House. They have great breakfast, and in the bathroom, pretty much all around, but in the bathroom when you go in, people have signed their name and where they're from all over the world, or they'll put a spell or whatever they chose to from the book. It was a pretty incredible experience. Also, when you walk in, they don't have Wi-Fi, and they have this little sign that says, "We don't have Wi-Fi. Talk to each other like it's 1995," which I thought was pretty funny. And in that area, you don't have much service. And maybe around, I feel like maybe like 2 blocks, there is the Greyfriars graveyard, and that's where JK went to get some of the names. So when you walk through the graveyard, you can find some of the names like Tom Riddle, or I think it wasn't Minerva McGonagall, but it was another woman's name with the last name McGonagall. So you could find, I think, about 10 characters, which was pretty amazing.
So she got the names from the characters
Mhm.
on
From
the graveyard.
different people in the graveyard. Yeah.
Oh, she's innovative.
Yeah, that's crazy. And she would write, and it was said that she would write in the graveyard once she would go there and like get the names and everything. And it's a pretty big graveyard, so she was doing a lot.
Yeah, she's a pretty dark cat. So I see where she got it from there. Like I was reading some of her little things about like why it was really amazing. So I could see that.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. If you're an Outlander fan or Disney's Brave, Scotland is a great place to go. So my grandmother is a huge fan of Outlander. She actually visited Scotland before I went, about a year before. And you can go, like, this is one of the castles that they used in the show, and they filmed in the castle and used it. This is also something that they used in Outlander, but they also use this in Brave. I don't know if anyone remembers that film. I loved it. I think her name was it was Merida. And yeah, like those stones that they have that was in Brave, it was also in Outlander. You can find those all over Scotland. Scotland is also known for having, I think they have like 271 islands or something. So and I believe the Highlands is actually a part of one of those islands. So it's pretty amazing. It's pretty north and pretty cold, but it's worth the experience, I believe. But yeah, so you can visit some of the castles and some of the places which were inspired in Brave, if you guys remember that film. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So let's move on to languages. So the Scottish national language is English, Scottish, and Scottish Gaelic. Now, most people don't really speak the Scottish Gaelic unless you're, it would be like their grandparents, essentially. And they do have their own language, Scottish. Like, I know the Glaswegians, which are people from Glasgow, it's English, but it's like a version of English. It's like they shorten the words. Honestly, guys, I couldn't tell what they were saying. I remember I asked somebody, were they speaking English? And they were like, oh yeah, I'm speaking Scottish. So it's very interesting. And this to the right these are the letters to the Gaelic alphabet. So if you look at it, it's pretty cool. And I didn't learn it while I was there, but I did have a friend who was studying the Gaelic, like Scottish Gaelic as a language. Because obviously it is a language that is not a lot of people speak. And it's pretty different from Irish Gaelic, I believe. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And so thanks for tuning in. I don't know if you guys have any questions. I tried to give a little bit of everything, being that I didn't travel all through the country, but for a couple of places that I did, yeah. So maybe open the screen back so I can see everyone. Does anyone have any questions?
Oh. Thank you, Cameron. That was a wonderful presentation. We do have a question from Dr. Mitchell. He said, what was your favorite experience abroad?
I would honestly say my favorite experience being in Scotland was touring. I didn't talk too much about the old like in Edinburgh, there's an old town and a new town. New town is like kind of like the gentrified stuff. So it's where all the city, like all the hotels and everything's super expensive. And then it's maybe like a 10-minute walk and you're in Old Town. The photos of that I put on I can actually pull up one of the photos actually. It's a little, if you can see this on the side right here, that's Old Town. So it's pretty much, I would say like that was my favorite part, was being able to tour and go over there. They had really amazing stuff. They're really big. Christmas markets are really big in Europe. So when they did the Christmas market in Old Town, it was really nice. They had a Christmas shop, and it was almost like, it was just like Christmas. Like you walked into the shop and I felt like it was Christmas. Christmas is my favorite holiday, if you couldn't tell. And being that they didn't celebrate Thanksgiving, it really just went straight from Halloween, and I think like the beginning of November is when the Christmas market started. So I would say like being in Old Town and having that experience of being in the Christmas market in Edinburgh. And then I also traveled to the Christmas market in Glasgow.
Okay, so we have another question from Miss Tilly. She said, do you think you will return to Scotland? If so, will it be to visit or to live?
I looked at another university for grad school, so I would think like just to live for a couple of years. But it just depends on COVID. I think pre-COVID I had all these plans to like go back and maybe go for my master's, but due to COVID, I just don't know what everything's kind of up in the air. But I think I would go back to Scotland, maybe not Edinburgh, not even Glasgow. I would like to be somewhere else, just because I've already been there. I'd like to go and stay somewhere else. So I guess to answer your question, yes, but no. I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes sense. Thank you.
We just have one more question before we tune off. Well, two more questions. So one question says, how was your study abroad experience like in Scotland? So how was it studying abroad in Scotland?
It was amazing, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect it to be, I kind of just went with no expectations. I just wanted to go. I wanted to meet new people and learn about the country and the different cultures. I just wanted to get out of, honestly, guys, I wanted to get out of America. And I had seen the photos of Scotland. I had done a little bit of research, but not too much because I didn't want to have any expectations and go and be disappointed or whatever. But it was honestly incredible studying there. The teachers are amazing. They're, which I thought it would be a lot harder just because there were a lot more students in a class than there are at Prairie View. Like it was more of like we were in halls. So I didn't expect it to be as, the teachers to be as, not nice, but as close with us as they were. But the experience of studying was really good. The teachers were great. I actually still keep up with my teachers. I have them on Facebook, and they'll send me little Facebook messages, saying we miss you in the class and things like that. So it was an amazing experience. I really loved it.
Thank you so much for sharing, Cameron. Just to be respectful of everyone's time. We did have one more question. So I want to get to it. You can answer it in maybe like just 1 minute. Did you face any discrimination in Scotland? This is from Miss Evie Myers.
Surprisingly, no. Actually, I feel like they didn't. Everyone loved everybody. I feel like as a Black American, I didn't face any discrimination, but they definitely do discriminate against Black people there. More like I had a friend who was Black and Muslim, so that was something that she faced, and we discussed that. But being that I was American, I kind of feel like I had a leg up, and they were much more nice to me because I was American, which was interesting. So, yeah.
So thank you so much. This was a wonderful presentation, and this is not a question, this is a comment. Dr. Mitchell said, can you please take us with you next time?
Honestly, yes. Everyone should come with me.
Okay.
So you guys my bags.
Put us in your suitcase. Just pack enough suitcase and.
On you though, not on us. On you. Hey, Miss Myers, how you doing? I can't hear you.
Okay. This was wonderful. It was so good seeing everybody. Any last comments? Any inspiration from
Traveling.
Monday?
I agree, Miss Tilly. American privilege is an eye-opening travel abroad experience as a person of color.
Okay.
I 100%.
I'm gonna ask someone leave us with the travel quote. Any travel quotes,
I
Doctor?
got one. See, I always got one. Go where you feel most alive.
Okay.
100%.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was good, right?
I love that, Caleb.
Yes. Hey, Miss Tilly, how you doing?
Just do it, like Nike. I love it.
Okay.
That's not a travel code. Oh, who said that?
But thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. I hope
Thank
everyone
Of
has a
course.
good day.
Bye, Tim.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, everybody.